Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Space Quest 6, the Spinal Frontier. Now, a number of you guys have been in touch with some comments, little vague hints and things to try. The overall theme seems to be about knowledge and the compost. So, we're going to try two of those things. I've also been told to go to the Hollow Deck place, the Hollow Cabana. You guys were saying, are there any like witty backgrounds we can put on and things? And to be honest with you, I don't know. So we'll try to do that at some point. I'm guessing we have to do something with this guy as well at some point. So I tell you what, let's start off by going to the Hollow Cabana and seeing. No, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at this first because we've got to use this anyway. So you guys were saying to really sort of inspect this thing in detail. So we've got all of these destinations here. Okay, so we've been through those. We've got the communications thing, they're offline. We've got a database, so I wonder if this is to do with the knowledge thing that you guys were talking about. And we've got cyber functions. All that cyberspace start from StarCon is hereby terminated. So it looks like really the database and the transport are the only thing here. So what do we want to do? DNA sequencing. Please insert data cart.
You get finger.
Oh yeah, I think we already did that and we don't have one. 2. Known races. 1. A to E. Andromedan decapus. Extinct. See Coronian tenticular slime sucker. Okay. So it's going to be a bit of a lore episode, I think. Andromedans. These repugnant creatures are known for their mohawk dews and their well-developed prehensile snouts, with which they can pick up small objects, give themselves neck rubs, and unleash projectile mucosa at enemies. Sex Pistols reference, I think. Next. The most famous Andromedans are the two guys, who rose above their humble Andromedan beginnings to become two of the most popular and successful game designers in the galaxy. We know about them from... They were obviously the designers of the Space Quest games. They were once kidnapped and pressed into servitude by the notorious Scumsoft Corporation, but were later rescued by an unidentified worker, Roger Wilco.
Nothing happened.
Most Andromedans prefer flavoured foreign coffees such as hazelnut mocha mistake and vanilla cottage cheese. That sounds horrible. Okay, big dealers. Nice. The primary civilization of the planet Mega Big Deal in the Sector B subcluster. See Coronian killer mammal. Okay, there's a lot of Coronian things here. Bicranial crud snorter. Imagine a crud snorter, only with a bifurcated cranium. Bicranial crud snorters are limber simian creatures with frontal lobes the size of Telosian binary cassabas? One would assume this makes them smarter than the average simian. One would be very wrong. Bicranial crud snorters prove the old adage that it's not how big your brain is, it's what you do with it. Lovely. Just like their monocranial cousins, they spend most of their time snorting crud and then hacking it out again in extended coughing fits that often last up to 12 hours. Okay. While they're not gagging and choking, bicranial crud snorters enjoy swimming, cycling, jazz, and eating Gibberellian dust mites. These are quite interesting. What else have we got here? Bjorn. Okay. The Bjorn, a race of half-humanoid, half-kitchen appliance creatures, are the scourge of the known universe. The Bjorn seek out civilizations in order to assimilate them. The collected knowledge of each civilization is then applied to the task of creating newer, shinier kitchen appliances. This is how the Presto Hot Dogger and Daisy Sealer Mill were invented. The leader of the Bjorn is the Toaster Scold Noctuticles. StarCon has posted a reward for the deactivation of Noctuticles, who may be recognised by a socket just below the anterior crust control. This socket is typically used to connect Noctuticles to various power sources in order to recharge him and through him the entire Bjorn collective. The great irony is that the Bjorn never spend any time in the kitchen, preferring to send out. They eat a peculiar mixture of batteries, nuts, bolts, and reprocessed organic sludge. I can't read very well today, guys. I don't know what's going on. Boethnic Boulder Beaver. The herbivorous Boulder Beaver is most recognisable for its powerful prehensile tail. Unlike the tails of most beavers, which are strong enough to fling mud, the Boulder Beaver can use his tail to bench about 340 pounds for 3 sets of 15 reps without even stopping for a fruit-flavoured sports beverage. Wow. Hence it can in fact create a dam out of boulders or nearly any other material, including molten steel, lava and stellar core fragments. Okay. The beaver prefers to eat the sweet spicy leaves of the creepy habanero eucalyptus vine, replicator number 6830620. Okay, okay, let me write that down, because I wonder if that relates to the machine, the Mr. Soylent machine. So 6830620. 6830620. Okay, I wonder if we needed to know that then. Earnon Sea Urchin. The Earnon Sea Urchin is a pitiful creature and doesn't really care who knows it. It cries constantly, which was only recently discovered since the creature lives underwater. It also refuses to play with the other Earnon Sea Urchins. However, some of its feelings are understandable. After all, it's just about the ugliest sucker on Earnon. Its spiny quills make romance a tedious and impractical affair, and its gonads are highly prized as sushi. That's unfortunate. This would make you cranky too. Probably correct, yeah. Estrosian sea slugs. The multi-tentacled sea slug is a large, menacing carnivore with a squid-like beak. Its spectacular adaptive abilities and matchless ferocity ensure that it can easily survive for extended periods underwater, on land, or in space. However, due to its numerous disgusting habits and unrestrained lifestyle, the Estrosian sea slug would not hold up for more than 5 minutes under the scrutiny of the liberal media. Estrosian sea slugs eat all manner of creatures, particularly aquatic ones. Their favourite food of all, though, is the Latex Babe of Estros. Or Estros. We met those in Space Quest 4, didn't we? Okay. More. Okay, we read those ones, so back. F to M, I guess. It's quite a lot to get through. Galanian gutter rats. Galanian gutter rats are so slimy, snivelling and nasty that they give a bad name to all other gutter rats. But of all their despicable habits, the worst is the fact that they're the lousiest bowlers in the galaxy, hence their name. Not only do they rarely break 100, but they talk loud and cuss when other people are seriously trying to bowl. Their preferred diet is the bowling alley combo: French fries, burger, hot dogs and beer. Replicator 62... Okay, so we've got another number here. 6762876. So we've got 2 numbers. Okay, green slime. Half animal, half vegetable, and half lousy mathematician, the green slime of Xenon is a vague byproduct of industrial waste and organic compounds combined with a powerful electric charge. The resulting life form is a slow-moving mass of gelatinous acidic protoplasm with simple reflexes and a voracious appetite. This makes it ideally suited to dissolve in locks and appearing in bad horror movies. Oh, we met that in Space Quest 4 as well, didn't we? In the sewers. Green slime will eat anything in its path, dissolving it quickly but not painlessly. Bizarrely, it has no such effect on glass, making it ultra convenient to carry around bits of green slime in an ordinary jar. And indeed, it was marketed this way under the name Face Begone Hawk City. So that's a reference to Space Quest 4 as well. Growl. At one time, many eons ago, Growl were the primary inhabitants of Corona. Artifacts and ruins have revealed much about them. They were creatures of immense size, towering some 30 to 40 metres tall. They were extremely ugly and couldn't bear to look at one another, which is why their race died out entirely. They were hunter-gatherers, preferring hunting gatherers to gathering hunters. Okay, fine. Coronian Tenticular Slime Sucker. Jeez, okay. The Tenticular Slime Sucker, which lives deep in the subterranean caverns of Corona, has never been seen by anybody who's lived to provide a complete description. All that has ever been seen are their slimy tentacles, which are tentacle-like and slimy, resembling tentacle-like slimy tentacles. Anything finding its way into these tentacles is first slimed, then devoured. This is an appropriate moment to note that tentacles come from the root tentacles, since the Andromedan decapus, with its 10 serpentine flexible appendages, tickled its foes to death. That's just another fun fact to know and tell. Yeah, it is quite fun. Okay, more. Coronian killer mammal. The Coronian killer mammal has an undeservedly fierce reputation due primarily to its name, or rather to what its name has become over the course of generations of sloppy pronunciation. Originally known as the lonely and bewildered sandbill, the Coronian killer mammal is a gentle, slow-moving herbivorous insect that would rather squash itself flat than come into contact with any other life form. These tiny introverted creatures are native to the planet Omega Big Deal, and the only planet with the distinction of having its entire civilization flunk phonics. The lack of linguistic ability is said to account for the distortion of the sandbill's name, although another theory has been put forth that the killer mammal appellation is merely due to centuries of sarcasm. The Coronian killer mammal eats dust mites. Okay, replicator 6838, 687. So we've got 3 numbers now. So I wonder if this is what we need. And we can order these from the Mr. Soylent machine. I think it's called Mr. Soylent. Coronians. The sentient civilization of Corona consists of the Coronians, a secretive and shy race of scholarly old men. They devote their lives to the pursuit and dissemination of knowledge. Conversations with Coronians are liable to be dry, peppered with obscure and dull references to places and people you've never heard of, and full of self-congratulatory rhetoric. Most members of Mensa are Coronians. Most Coronians are vegans and prefer the local flora. Replicator. Okay, we've got another one. 2580969. So we've got 4 numbers now. However, some Coronians eat their own young, just so they knowingly say, "Oh yes, I've done that. We taste like chicken." Fair enough. Killer cave beaver. The beaver's eyesight is among the worst in the galaxy, matched only by the giant cataract bear of Pestulon and the blind plummeting mountain goat of Andromeda. Although the cave beaver is herbivorous, it frequently accidentally kills other creatures because up close they all look like tree trunks. It's only after the beaver has chewed its way through the nearest sturdy limb that it discovers the limb is some creature's arm or leg. Thus, the dams made by the killer cave beaver are quite disgusting. The killer cave beaver's favourite food is clinging girlfriend, Ivy. Replicator. Okay, another one, jeez, okay. 6588561. So we're going to have to try all of these things out at the machine, I guess. And maybe one of them is going to be useful. Leveon cave squid. The Labion cave squid is a fish-like mammal which has not yet realised that it's a land dweller. Thus, it still tends to squirt ink, which just lies ineffectively in a puddle on the ground and gets on the bottom of your boots. It also uses typical squid-like flex emotions to propel itself, a very inefficient mode of transportation when moving through rocky tunnels. So the Labion cave squid gets a lot of nasty cuts and scrapes as it tries to frog kick its way across rough stone floor. This makes it more cranky than ever. The cave squid is also frightened by both humanoids and light, since it thinks it's still in the murky depths of the deep Labion swamps. Don't confuse it by approaching it. It will happily crush you rather than be forced to question its reality. It will also eat you if given the opportunity. Fine, more. Okay, the Labion root monster. A direct descendant of the Venus buggerfly, the Labion root monster is a carnivorous plant with roots both above and below ground. Is that the one we met in Space Quest 2? The underground roots absorb water and nutrients normally, but the soil of Labion is nitrogen poor, so the above ground roots collect nitrogen by capturing and digesting small stupid animals or larger stupider ones. When disturbed, the roots wrap around the luckless creature and convey it to the central sac, yes it is, wherein lie the digestive juices and spike-like cilia that reduce the creature to a pulp-like consistency. At this point, the root monster exudes nitrogen like a Clorox 2 beam blatter at the Gilroy 9 Garlic Festival. The Labion root monster is the best observed at a distance, or in the highly acclaimed vidcast series The Trials of Grotesque Alien Animal Behaviour by a highly acclaimed naturalist Dr. David Ate and Burrowed. That would be an Attenborough reference. Labion Swamp Slurpy. The Swamp Slurpy is believed to be a hideous, grotesque half-fish, half-reptile. Nobody's quite sure because nobody who's seen one up close has ever lived to describe it. That's the one, the swamp monster from Space Quest 2, right? Witnesses are usually found slightly decapitated or with a modest discount in the cranial region. We can only assume they eat everyone and everything. The Swamp Slurpy is believed to be a hideous, grotesque half-fish... Oh, okay. Oh, we went to the previous page, okay. Labion Terror Beast. The Terror Beast is aptly named since it spends most of its life in terror. Although the Terror Beast could easily defeat a humanoid, it usually avoids conflict unless faced with a particularly wimpy opponent. Most of its time is spent keeping to itself, avoiding public appearances and banquets. Its preferred diet is composed mainly of the roots of the starshock bush. Okay, another number. 6422 803. God, how are we gonna... Terror beasts are born with extremely powerful leg muscles, however one leg is shorter than the other, so the beast tends to spin in a tight circle as it zooms across the Labion landscape. This creates a whirlwind effect that can prove particularly hazardous to trailer parks. Okay. Enjoys figuring out small puzzles and will often stop in the middle of a hunt to solve a matchstick puzzle, logic problem or riddle. Curiously though, the beast hates arcade sequences. Okay, and the Latex Babes. These natives of the planet Eastros are usually nubile humanoid females, although the occasional wily, stringy male is not unheard of. Turn-ons include constructing the finest underwater craft in the galaxy, arc welding and shopping. Turn-offs are estrogen sea slugs, plaque build-up above the gum line, and 2 timing janitors. Favourite foods are eel wart sashimi, another number, which is 8771877, and roasted drymouth gourami, which is 2712090. God, we've got a lot of numbers here. Alright, well, that is F to M done, so we've still got 2 more sets of this. I don't know. You guys let me know. Do we need to go through all of these? I don't mind doing it because I quite like learning all the lore and things. There's other sections on here as well, so we've got quite a bit to do. But we'll leave it there for this one. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I know this was not the most exciting episode if you're not into all the lore and backstory, but I am, and I like exploring. So it was something a bit different. Nice to learn and hear about some of the creatures we've actually met in earlier games. I quite like that they put all that in. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Terminally Nerdy, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle and Barry Aldridge for all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.